What up, what up? It's the Chief Kaseek Ortiz.
Tyrant333, and this is Figure It the Fuck Out.
Yes, sir.
And today we got a good topic for you. Today, again, like always, we want to talk about artists and this work habit, I guess, of working and putting their whole creative genius into music and what they're creating. Writing the music, recording the music.
Mixing it.
All that good stuff.
Cover art.
And then not putting as much work into pushing the music and letting it be seen by as many people in the masses. So, you know, you being the artist, I know you right now are in drop that shit mode.
Right.
But even with that, it gets tough to, you know, life things hit to even put out as much music as you want to. So where are you at with that as in artists and seeing things on the engineer side of things?
Definitely, that's definitely a good question because you're putting me on the hot spot. And on a transparency side, I've actually not released as much as I really wanted to. I told myself I was gonna do X amount of things and I would say it out publicly, but I don't want to because it's still embarrassing. We always find ourselves as artists becoming embarrassed or feeling like we get, what's that word that you like to use? Get paralyzed?
Analysis paralysis?
Yeah, analysis paralysis. You start thinking about, I don't have enough money for the covers, or you do have money for the cover, but you don't have enough money to pay for a video guy or the mixing or straight up. I do all that shit myself, and I still face the fact that, like, when I do release it, am I gonna put any money towards it? Yeah, I could do some content for free. I still might need to pay people here and there to help me shoot the content, whatever the case may be. Sometimes the financials aren't all the way there, so you start getting analysis paralysis where now you feel like you're stuck in one position and you don't want to release anything because you feel like, oh, if I release it, it just falls on deaf ears. I need to take my own advice when I say this, but it doesn't really matter. And some people are gonna swear up and down that it does, and I do believe that timing is everything. But when you go into the studio and you write, you pick out the beat, you write to it, you record to it, you're so in love with it. As an artist, that's what we need to stay attached to, is the fact that we are so in love with the product right here, right now, that you need to just finish it and just push it out. Because if you wait 2 months down the road, 3 months, 6 months to a year, by that time, when you're finally able to release it, you might have fell out of love with the song because now you feel like it's old, so you don't care about it. You're like, fuck it, I'm not really gonna pay attention because I have 55 million other songs I'm trying to record. And then you find yourself in this hamster wheel of getting stuck with that same emotion of like, damn, I didn't focus on that record, and that could be the record that blows up. And the reason why I say to focus on the fact that you love it and just releasing it as soon as you possibly can is because you could always come back after it's already out there, shoot the content, shoot the video, make it go viral, whatever it is that you want to do. And if you don't believe me, all you would have to do is literally look at, you could look at when Swiss Beats was doing the whole verses. You think about Jadakiss or any of those other people, as soon as they did the verses, it almost created new life for the old music. You know, people almost forgot about, you know, I don't want to say they forgot about fucking Dipset or the Locks, because you know who the fuck they are. But you might not have remembered all the records, but when you see them versing each other, and then after they put on such a good show, now for the rest of the weekend, you just start listening to their music on all these platforms, and their music shoots up 400%. It's almost like now it's new life.
With that, I think there's multiple ways to do it. Like, there's artists you see who don't drop for 4 years, and they go platinum when they do drop. But usually they built a fan base already, and they're able to do that at that point.
I've never really seen anybody do that, like right off rip, but Kendrick Lamar is like somebody that can go quiet for 2-3 years, come out with a project, and it's just going.
Yeah, Rihanna can drop something today, and that'll go platinum.
Right.
You know, like, there's certain artists who can do stuff like that.
Right, Dr. Dre.
It's also, we're also getting caught in this day and age where, all right, so you're on the reverse side of things. You had deadlines, stuff you wanted to meet. Stuff happens. Deadlines don't always get hit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it is. But you're on the point where you want to put out more music. You are putting out a ton of content. You know, so you're on that side of things. Then there's me. I'm on the other side of things with Ben Grizz.
Right.
He and he wants to put up as many shots as possible. And there's a lot of artists who probably think like him, like, let's put out every last record. So much to a point where they want to just put out new music, where sometimes they might not even like do enough due diligence on the records they just released that were fire, or they didn't even put enough time in, or maybe stuff happened where they weren't able to really market it, but they just want to put out the new records. And now they don't even get caught up in wanting to release the old records or push the old records. And then you look back, a year or two goes by, it's like, yo, you never even really like, you got a whole album or two you didn't even really push.
Right.
Because you're focused on releasing the new records, you know? And you, on the other side of things, you'll push every last little piece of content down to you'll keep pushing it for 5 years if you need to.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Even if I've shot it a year ago, I'll re-release it and recycle it. See, like, I kind of teeter on back and forth because I always like the idea of like keeping some in a tuck for a rainy day. Because you might be on 100 right now, like, yo, I need to record, right? And you're on this fucking mission, and then out of nowhere, you're gonna start crashing, and you're not gonna have any new music to put out because you already just emptied the clip, and now you might actually feel, again, analysis paralysis, where it's like, you're kind of stuck in one state of being because you're like, now you might have been depressed, somebody passed away, your dog died, and like everything just happened all at once, and now you're stuck in this motion where like you can't even write a song if you wanted to. And now you're trying to force yourself to write a song because now you're trying to keep up with the consistency. So like, I guess to teeter or to, I guess, combat that idea is that even if you are on go right now, 100%, I need to put up as many shots as I can, go ahead. But when it does slow down, use that time that it does slow down to focus on, like he said, all of the old catalog. Go back into time and focus on this record, because as soon as you post it, people might have heard it, but they didn't hear it enough to a point where they just remembered it. So when you redo the video for it or shoot a piece of content, they're almost like, oh shit, I remember this song. Or they're like, oh, I didn't even know he had this song out. And now it brings new life into it. And now
you just shot a video to it when there was no video that was shot for it. All of a sudden, it's going up like it was a new record all of a sudden. Some people like the visuals behind it to really get attached to the record, you know?
Yep. And that's true, you know, most of the time when people think about marketing, which is the point that we actually do need to talk about, is that marketing, I believe they say that you have to see something about 7 or 8 times before you're like, you know, just because you hear a song on the radio, you don't instantly always 100% immediately like it, you know? Like, sometimes you have to, it has to be bashed over your head a few times and you're like, actually, I do kind of like the song. And then it's attached to a moment because everybody around you is dancing to the record, and now it's making you want to, like, you go to a party.
For all the old heads out here, when the radio was the only real way to pop.
Yeah.
How many times have we had to get bashed in the record with those, bashed in the head with those records before we maybe even liked some of those records?
Yeah.
Some of them we didn't even like as much. You heard it 10, 11 times, like, yo, I fuck with this record, you know? And then now this person's a superstar.
Yeah.
But then that goes back always to relationships they built at the radio stations and shit like that.
Yep.
But, you know, now there's so much music, so much ways to drop the music. You gotta stay consistent in dropping the music, and you gotta stay consistent in marketing the music.
Right.
It's a two-edged sword.
And marketing doesn't necessarily mean that you're always constantly throwing money
pouring your life savings into it.
Exactly. You're not always having to pour your life savings. If anything, I personally don't agree with, like, every time something comes out, you don't need to stick $1,000 onto it. You could just put up the shots, whatever you start seeing that actually starts to gain a little bit of traction. Even we'll figure it the fuck out. Not every clip that we post is just out of here. Some of the posts are like, all right, people didn't really care about that one. But then this one's going. All right, bet. This right here, as far as analytically, shows me that, yo, if we spend some money on this video, it'll probably shoot the rest of the videos up because this piece of our catalog is catching some fire. So why not throw some gasoline in that bitch?
Yeah.
You don't have to always spend $1 million on every single one of your records. Like I said, just put up the shots, and then after that, go back to the catalog when it does slow down. It's winter and you're feeling real depressed or whatever, you need to find something to do because you're bored or whatever, go right back to the old catalog. And even then, keep doing it.
Budget it correctly too. Like, you know, if you have 5,000, don't spend, you know, 1,000 on shooting the video, 1,000 on recording, 1,000 on drip, you know, 1,000 on models, and then another 1,000 on whatever the fuck else you want to tack on top. on bottles, whatever the fuck else you want to tack on top. And then when it comes down to market the record, you only got $100 or you got no money or $50.
And like how does we do?
And that's what a lot of artists do.
We'll go in the studio, we'll spend a bunch of money at the recording studio, we'll mix it, master it, pay for the guy to do the cover, maybe you shoot the video. By the time it's time for the record to come out, we already spent $5,000 into it, and you got $100, and you're like, I don't want to pay for views, and you don't want to do Google ads or TikTok or Instagram ads or anything. And even if you do it, you're only spending like $25, $50. You might even spend that whole $100, and then be upset because you're not going to see the results that you thought. You thought for $100 you were about to go viral. It's like, that's just not how it works.
The biggest businesses out there marketing is a part of the world right now. If you don't have the marketing dollars, then you have to put up a lot of shots, a lot of shots, and be putting them up every day to consistently just keep growing your audience. And it will take a longer amount of time, especially how a lot of these social media apps are built and almost seem structured to want to take ad dollars from the creators so they can get pushed to a further reach.
Right.
But you don't always got to get sucked into that. But if that's the case, then put up as many fucking shots as possible, and so you can get a bag. Because there'll be some point you won't always be down, and you'll have a different financial situation. When you do, I would strongly advise you to market your shit. Let people see who the fuck you are, what you're doing, so that can get exposed to more people. They share it, send it to more people. Then your audience is growing at an even faster rate, on top of you consistently hitting them over the head with consistent drops. And I think that's a good formula for especially most artists who are independent. There's never enough eyes that can be seen, be put on you at that point. So, you can focus on letting, your family, your auntie, your cousins, your friends, sharing it to the right people or to enough people where it finally goes up. Or do what we're saying and do that, build relationships, put marketing dollars behind it, put up as many shots as you can, because one of them's gonna stick.
Right. So let me ask you, and I'll even answer it too. So if an artist came to you for a consultation and was like, yo, I have $1,000, what should I do with my music?
That's a great question. So, and they hadn't recorded yet? Or they hadn't recorded yet?
They just had it written. They have it written, they have the beat picked out, they didn't buy anything yet.
Okay, so that would be an in-depth one. I would tell them, first of all, like you always say, get the lease or get the exclusive beat from the producer, however much that's gonna cost. Let's say that costs $200. All right, you're gonna need that though, because that's gonna help you get the record cleared and get it onto a lot of different DSPs.
Right.
So you definitely need that. Go get it recorded, mixed and mastered, that's gonna be another what? Let's just say that's $200.
Right.
So now they're at $600 left, All right, now they got that going. They got the record done. It's gonna be probably another $50 for the graphic to 100. Let's say it's 50, they're at 450 now. All right, so now they move on to the next step, they have 550 left. If the whole process is done right there, dump the rest of it into ads. That's what I would tell them. Like, put up the shots. If you want to keep some in the tuck so you can do it for more than 1 month, then split the ads up $150 a month from there, and that'll be $450 spent.
Right.
And you still have a little bit of money left over, and just rock it out from there. Do a $3 a day ad or $5 a day ad, and run it out and see, like you were saying earlier, which one is striking gold, and then that's the one like if it's going viral just off a little bit of marketing dollars, and you see exactly off the analytics who's getting targeted to, who's fucking with it, then that's the one that's like, boom, let's up the budget on it and let's push it up. And that's how I would do that if you got $1,000.
Right.
And I don't know if I maybe missed some things in there, but I think that's a good little just base plan.
That was a very base plan because
extensive.
I didn't tell you what kind of artist it was. You don't know if it's another Kaseek Ortiz or if it was some Joe Schmo that woke up this morning and was like, hey bro, I want to rap and I got $1,000. That's a good information. I actually completely agree with you, but if you're an artist like me who can write, record, mix, master, and do the cover art yourself, whatever.
That's a whole nother.
If you have skills yourself,
like that,
100% lean into your own skill set. Record it. If you can make beats, make the damn beat. I don't make beats anymore, so I buy the beat. So if I buy the beat for $200, let's just keep it at that. I already record myself, so I don't have to pay for studio time. I already saved myself $200 to $400 already. So if I record it, mix it, master it, I'll take my photo myself or have somebody else, just my son, take the photo of me somewhere. I'll make the cover art, and now I still have $800 to play with. If I had $800 to play with, I would probably, if I can't do it myself, I'll probably need a secondary hand, but I would probably have one of my homeboys pay them maybe 100, 200, even 300 to shoot me a bunch of short form content on that one record.
Yeah.
And I mean like a shit ton. For 200, 300, you could take my phone or whatever, my gimbal, and just come out, film me, whatever the case may be. After that, let's just say I paid 200 for that. I only spent 400.
See, that's a good piece. That's the piece I didn't add. Is like how you're gonna get the content to push, or the video. You see, I was thinking in the fact of
just a song. Yeah.
Yeah, the song. You pushing the record and moving it, but you're gonna make your own content, whatever, however you do it on TikTok and stuff. But that's a good piece right there. It's gonna either cost you money to make that content for it,
right,
for a lot of people, or the great part of today is we have beautiful phones.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of different things. You know, you can have anyone just hold the phone and try to shoot you some content. The best part about us and our biggest asset is our mind. Be fucking creative.
Yeah, right.
You
You're
come
the
up with
artist.
something. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I never really understood. Well, I fell into this as well for the artists, is that like, we are such artists that like, we're like, oh, all I want to do is music and create and create and create. And then you forget that making the content is actually part of the creation. But we don't look at it that. We look at it as like, that's work, but music is fun or something like that. This is a part of the creation. So if you're an artist and you're a creative, you should have no problem figuring out a way to make yourself go viral, because you are literally living in the element of creativity. So why wouldn't you want to do that?
Putting up the shots. And,
exactly.
And we see people these days with not even the best quality going viral. If the song is great, but the video quality isn't so good, it could still go these days.
Right.
Or vice versa. You got amazing visual effects, but the song's like, you can see that stuff going.
Right.
You know, so it's like both sides.
For real. I only threw that out there that, you know, maybe paying somebody to shoot the content. At the end of the day, if you have a camera at home or a cell phone, buy a motherfucking tripod, set that bitch up anywhere, and just record a whole bunch of videos, different style videos, different clothing, whatever, using that same one song, and then just post it. Post it a whole bunch of times, and I don't mean like back to back all day, but like once every other day. Post it. Whatever clip ends up catching some heat, take that budget and start throwing $5 a day, $10 a day. Honestly, I'd probably just say $5 a day and let it see where it goes. And if it starts gaining more traction, at that point you could scale and decide to put more.
Yeah.
Or maybe to help another video of yours go, and then you can have two ads run. You got one ad looking this way and another ad looking this way. Now you got $5 here, $5 here, and let that shit push.
As an independent, you gotta put yourself out there.
Right.
And that's also having the skills to put in the time to either learn how to run ads or have someone that can do it for you. I didn't even talk about the marketing budget there.
Right.
You know, so like a lot of people don't
use the
do
rest
that.
of the money to pay somebody else.
We're talking about skills based off we just have and we don't have to pay for because we have these skills.
When I asked you the question, I figured you would give the base question for an artist that was like, yo, I'm coming to you, you don't know me, I have $1,000, what do I do?
It would
I'm
be
only
tough.
chiming in for what it was I do if an artist is watching this and they are like me, where they can record, mix, master, they are capable
Run
of
ads, do all this different stuff.
I can pretty much do the entire thing by myself. Would I like help? 100%. But like, if I could save more money by doing it myself, set up the tripod, shoot myself here, 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 edit it all up on CapCut or my Adobe, whatever the case may be, and just send that shit. And then whatever starts gaining traction in between my other pieces of content, I'm gonna run ads behind it. Just understand that you can't beat everybody's head over with the same record. You wanna have some other things in between because, you know, people are just gonna get tired of hearing it. Not everybody, not the same people aren't always on. You know, not everybody that you know is gonna be on from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 5 o'clock. There's gonna be different people online every single time. But don't just like air out your clip.
Put out new music, but also don't fall in love with the old music.
Don't fall in love?
I mean, don't fall out of love with the old music.
100%, don't fall out of love.
Don't fall out of love with that, but keep the new music coming.
Right. If Ben Grizz is watching this, don't fall out of love with the old music. You know, I do that shit too, because we feel that, you feel it. You go into the studio and you feel like, it's funny because you'll make a record as an artist and you'll be like, there's no way I could top this record. Yeah. And then the next time you come into the studio, you're like, oh, fuck that record.
Yeah.
I got this record right here. I can't top this shit. And then you do it again and it recycles and repeats. But it's like then you fall out of love with these records because you feel like they're not as hot as this one. But honestly, you don't really know what's hot because the fans are gonna tell you. I have records I'm not fucking fond of them at all. And they happen to be the records that people really, really like. And I'd be like, you know what? I did make that out of love when I was making it. I'm just so out of love with it that I'm like, fuck that record. And then it happens to be somebody's favorite. What would I look like going to a fan of mine and be like, oh, it's your favorite record? Fuck that record.
You want to work to a point.
They're gonna look at me like, should I support this guy? He doesn't even like his own shit.
Yeah, that fucking record sucked.
Right.
You recorded it like 2 years ago.
Right. No.
Nah, and there's had been artists who've done that. Like there's artists, big artists who come out and said they don't like, I wish I never did that record. Maybe it's later on in their career, whatever. I can see it. But at the end of the day, put out as much music and work so hard that you'll be able to put out as much music that you feel like, damn, I put out a lot of music. But at the same time, you're like, damn, I got a lot in the vault too.
Right.
So then that's a good place to be. That's the best place to be, I would say.
Facts.
You got plenty to push, a catalog, you got stuff in the vault, all types of shit.
Right.
But like we were saying, as an independent, it's so important. I will say it again. Push your music. Get your music out there. Don't put all this money into just making the record or shooting videos for the record, your drip and shit. Also put money into marketing dollars. However you gotta do it. Find someone trusted who can help you market that shit and expose yourself. And do it in a smart way. There's a lot of different smart ways you can do it, different ways, outside the box ways. And if you don't got the dollars, that C word, hit them over the head, consistently dropping on all the platforms.
Facts.
And, that's how we do it. This is Figure It the Fuck Out.
That's how you figure it the fuck out. Facts.